Hi, it's Barry with my long-awaited one-year ACDF update. This is, all my videos are about my experience. Everybody's experience, will probably be a little bit different. I went into this with a very positive attitude because I was just sick and tired of feeling the way I felt. I had significant issues with my neck. I couldn't even bear the weight of a towel on my head to dry what little of my hair remains. It just would cause burning sensations all through the neck that would radiate down to my hands. My hands didn't work properly. I couldn't touch my pinkies and thumbs together. I hadn't been able to do that in like 20 years because of the compression in the spine. So the ACDF, if you're here looking at this video, you probably need one. Maybe you've just had one. Maybe you heard about it and know somebody that does. It's anterior cervical discectomy infusion, and that just means anterior is the front. They go into the cervical spine, they take the discs out, and they fuse it together. Normally, after they take out the bad disc, they'll clean up the space between the two vertebrae. In my case, I had a lot of osteophytes, which, if you think back to grammar school days, those are like stalagmites and stalactites in caves. It's just bone growths coming out of spaces where they shouldn't be. And those caused a lot of issues and a lot of the burning sensation that I would have. Also not being able to use my hands, being in constant neck pain, having issues turning left and right and up and down. But this is my experience, and I'll take you along on my journey and a summary of the one-year anniversary of the surgery. This surgery is offered all over the country. There are many doctors that are very good at performing that. Mine was done at the Hospital for Special Surgery by Dr. Harvinder Sandhu. I think he's one of the pioneers in the field. I know he's been very involved with the ACDF procedure for a long time. He's got some patents on either equipment or materials used in the actual procedure. But again, this is done all over the country. Very, very high outcome for positive results. Here's a picture of what my neck looked like prior to surgery. I circled some stuff and have some arrows so you can see exactly what my personal issues were. Again, for me, a big problem was where the nerves come out of the cervical spine in that foraminal space. I had severe narrowing in that space, and the only way I can equate it is, imagine trying to water your garden when a car is parked on the hose. You might be able to get a little bit of the water out, meaning some of that nerve signal is getting to the brain and to the hands, but most of it was not. As soon as that issue was resolved, as soon as I woke up from surgery, I could use my hands fully again, which I hadn't been able to do in a long time. So here's that picture. So even to the untrained eye, you can see that was pretty messed up. That's not a normal looking cervical spine. Here are the x-rays. And here's a couple different views of after the procedure's done. And you can see that now there's some good healthy space in there. And check it out. A lot of people are very scared of having the procedure done. They're nervous, apprehensive, understandably so. I mean, it's a big undertaking to essentially trust your future health to somebody else's hands. And they are going in through your neck. There's a lot of valuable real estate in here. There's a lot of nerves, a lot of veins. Your, trachea, esophagus, everything, kind of is here in the front. So you feel a little bit exposed when you go through and have that done. What I like to tell people is you deserve to feel better. You really do. I mean, if you're considering having this done, if the doctor has told you that you need this, there's a reason for that. And it's because you've been suffering a long time. You're in, if you're like me, it was horrible pain. Just the feeling of a towel on my head to dry my hair would cause burning in my neck. It was intolerable. I was grumpy. I was crabby. I wasn't myself. I'm usually pretty happy-go-lucky. I have a positive attitude and a positive spin on life. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I like to tell people that I model my life after my blood type, which is B positive. So, the biggest thing if you need the surgery, just go in with a positive attitude. You deserve to feel better. You are going to feel better. You are going to trade the pain that you're in now for the pain of healing and recovery, which is a pain that goes away. The pain that you're in now will never go away. It's never going to get better if you need the surgery. I went through physical therapy. I went through injections into my neck and into my back to try to quiet those nerves down. I had steroid injections. I had nerve blocks done a few times just to try to, get that all to quiet down. It might help for a little while, and then it would come back again. And it seems like when it came back, it was angrier than before. As soon as I woke up from surgery, all of that pain was gone. And yeah, I was high on anesthesia, and I had, muscle relaxers and things in me. But those pains never came back. They never came back. I had different pains, which I'll talk about, but those go away. So if you need it, you deserve it. Get yourself better. So in the recovery process after the surgery, there are significant restrictions. They don't want you lifting anything heavy. You could be in a soft collar like I was, which was just a foam collar that goes around. You could take it on and off. You could shower once they said the sutures were clear. The softer hard collar is it's kind of surgeon's choice. It depends on how they feel with how everything went. It doesn't mean that you're in worse shape if your surgeon wants you in a hard collar for, a few weeks or a month or 6 weeks or whatever. It just means, that's their way of doing things. They want to make sure everything is stable and stays secure. So again, that's the surgeon's choice. It's a short period of time in your life. I know people hate the hard collar, but if you need it, just suck it up and do it. It's going to come off. You're going to feel better. It's just going to take some time. Again, major restrictions in that first month especially. For me, it was no lifting of anything heavier than a gallon of milk, which is 5 or 7 pounds or whatever. You just go easy. You allow yourself to heal. The biggest issue for me in the first week or so was muscle tightness. And they say that's very common and to be expected. What they're doing is they're taking stuff that was compressed in your spine, and now they're stretching it out, and they're putting a disc in there that was either compromised or compressed or bulged or whatever your reason is. Now this space that wasn't there, now there is space at one level. If you have 2 levels, that's even more space. So all of those muscles back here, which had been compressed, are now stretched out and elongated. So muscle relaxers definitely helped me, especially the first week or two. The painkillers, I took them initially because they suggested I stay ahead of it. But after a couple days, I really didn't have pain from the surgical site. It was more from the muscles being stretched. A very common issue after the first few weeks or maybe immediately is, your voice may not be what it was before. You got to remember, you were intubated during this period. That often, messes up the vocal cords for a while. I was a little hoarse and scratchy, but the voice will come back. After maybe a week or 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, I started developing some swallowing issues where I felt like the food was getting stuck here. And my advice, and in my earlier videos you'll see that, is start with small sips of water. It seemed like once those swallowing muscles warmed up and got used to swallowing water and then a few small bites of food, that it got better. That took, probably a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, for that to begin to subside, and then the swallowing issues were never a problem again. Where they put the surgical scar, it's right on this kind of wrinkle line that we all have, especially if you're over 50 like me. You can see now, there's just, you usually don't notice it unless you're looking for it or it catches your eye. There are things that I did to help my scar improve. It's very smooth now. I can shave right over it and not have to worry about cutting it open. What I recommend is I use bio oil and arnica gel, and I'm going to have links and pictures to those. Matter of fact, here's a picture of those 2 products. and I'll have a link to those products below here through Amazon. If you purchased anything through any of the links that I have here, I get like a really small commission, like a couple of cents or whatever, or what do they call it? Affiliate payment. Doesn't cost you any more. So that's a nice thing for me, I guess, if you follow the link and I get a couple of cents. I talked about the muscle tightness. To help with the muscle tightness, a great thing to do is go out and go for a walk. Whether you're in your soft collar or the hard collar, go out for a walk, relax those arms, let them swing naturally when you walk. Try not to, be like this when you're walking. Just try to relax everything. Let the arms flow. That'll help dynamically help loosen up those muscles. And also, my surgeon has told me a number of times, the only thing that you can do for spine health, you can do your stretching and all that stuff, but the best thing to help with spine health is blood flow. It's getting the heart rate up, getting more blood to flow through the spine to those areas. Luckily, the spine has the fastest growing bones in the human body. Didn't know that. Explains why the osteophytes were so bad with me. So once you get this thing fused, the spine is immediately going to start growing bone over that to fuse those two areas together. But walking is a big point of distress during recovery. Just increasing that blood flow, being careful when you walk, but walking helps with the stretching and the blood flow. Can't emphasize that enough. Big part of recovery is getting out and moving. Physical therapy. They say with ACDF it's not really necessary. Because I'm over 50, I wanted to do it. My insurance, I was lucky, they paid for it. I had already met my deductible from the surgery, of course. So I said, sign me up. I found a place locally. A lot of upper body stretching and exercising this way and that way. And probably the most, all of that stuff was good, but I really got a lot out of the end portion. After you do all your physical therapy, they put you on a table and you get, they did a deep tissue massage to loosen up all those knots that were back there, to stretch out those tight muscles. Initially, I was going 3 times a week. That went down to twice a week and then once a week, and then I finally stopped that. But the physical therapy, as soon as the doctor says that you're able to do it, if you can't find a place near you or you don't want to go out and have it done professionally, find some exercises, do them at home. The massage I felt was really, really helpful. I actually went out and bought a massager that goes around your neck, and it has 2 little things you put your arms through, and then you hold it here. I'll put a picture of that on here and a link to that also. I love this thing. It was stupid cheap, like maybe $40 or less. I still use it today, and this is a year after the surgery. Anytime I get a knot, you can move it around. You can get it exactly where you want. You can have it rotate this way, have it rotate that way. It was ridiculously cheap for the value that it brought to me. And here's a link to that product, or a picture of that product. Now that I'm out 1 year, I feel more comfortable and confident doing other things to stretch out that area. And for me, a lot of it, again, is just, I've always carried all of my stress and tension in my shoulders. So I did get 2 other things to help with that. One of them, again, there'll be pictures and links below. One of them is the chirp wheel. I love this thing. It's just looks like a little tire. It has an indentation for your spine. You roll out on it. I bought the 3-pack, and I've used all 3 of them. I like the big wheel and the middle-sized wheel the best for me. And also, that's a dynamic thing. So you're actually rolling back and forth on it, and you'll get little pops and cracks in your spine, and it really helps loosen everything. The big thing is, getting those shoulders back. Then the other thing I got, which again, there'll be a picture of and a link, is it's a static cervical stretching device. It looks like a little wave. You just put your head on it and you just lay there. and you just relax for a couple minutes. And it's a fantastic way to stretch out the muscles and everything here, just laying there, not doing anything. But again, this is not till after you're recovered and starting to do physical therapy or the doctor says that you can do it. But check these out. So I kind of feel like I'm hawking products, but I'm really not. I'm just letting you know what worked for me, what I used in my recovery. If it's something that you want to get to aid in yours, they're here. The other thing I have that I actually got a long time ago was a chi machine, or the wiggle machine is what I call it. You just lay on the floor, you put your feet in it, it moves your feet back and forth. If you ever saw Better Call Saul, there's an episode where they show him laying on the floor and just your feet are moving, and you start it very slowly and you just relax into it. And before you know it, your legs are moving, then your hips are moving, and the more you relax, then it's moving all the way up to your spine and your neck, and it's just kind of rocking the lower portion of your body. Here's a picture of that and a link below. Again, when you start using this thing, I never ever put my machine on high. It's just low and slow, and it just gets that spine moving back and forth, back and forth. It's a rocking motion. It's soothing. It's relaxing. The one I have automatically stops after 20 minutes, and before I get up from the floor, I just take my feet out of it, let it lay on either side. I feel like I sink into the floor because it has that much of an impact if you don't force it and you just go slowly with it. But check that out. I like it a lot. The last product I'm going to talk about is something that my neurologist recommended that I get. I've had some issues with vertigo and dizziness for many years. I was hoping the ACDF surgery was going to fix all of that. It fixed a lot of my issues, but not my dizziness. But my neurologist recommended a book called The Way Out, and I'm going to have a picture of that and a link to it. Whether you have chronic pain, whether you have anxiety issues, whether you just want to learn more about like the human condition and how the brain works with relation to anxiety and pain, this book was such an eye-opener for me. I've read it through once. I'm going through it again. I find myself highlighting and dog-earing pages, and it talks about the relationship between pain and anxiety, and how can you not be anxious when you're in pain? I mean, you walk around in the dark and you stub your toe on a door jamb, you're going to be in a lot of pain, and you're also going to have your anxiety, that fear of flight thing is just going to kick on 100%. This book down below, I forget the author's name, but it's written by somebody like me, like my age group. He talks about Bruce Springsteen. He talks about sports. It's a very easy read, but man, it hit home in so many areas and really helped me kind of calm down the pain and anxiety intertwining in me. So take a look at that. If it's something you're interested in, I can't recommend it enough. It's a fantastic book. Check it out. So I know this video is getting a little bit long and there's talk of a lot of products. Again, if it's something that you think would benefit you, it helped me, certainly buy a product, whether you use my link or not, or similar items. Biggest thing is you deserve to feel better. I can't stress that enough. Positive attitude. I went into this thing like it was Christmas. I could not wait for them to put me under, cut my neck open, and fix this thing because I was so sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. Looking back, a year later, I kind of wish I had done it sooner. The doctors wouldn't do it sooner because they wanted me to do a whole bunch of other things first. So I followed the process, but when I was ready to have this done, I was really, really ready to have this done. check this out. Here's my neck mobility 1 year later, and I'm feeling a little bit stiff today. To the left, look, that's pretty good. Now let's go the other way. To the right, pretty good. Up and down, side to side. Really, the only thing I think I lost from a mobility, maybe a little bit looking up. When I go to serve a tennis ball now, maybe I lean back a little bit or I don't toss it as high. Incredibly small price to pay. That little bit less mobility looking up. Most of the neck mobility happens way up high at C1 and C2. That's where most of the rotation this way and this way happen. So if you need 5, 6, 7 done, you're really not going to lose a lot of mobility at all. If you need a level higher than that, yeah, you're going to lose some mobility. Maybe you can't look up as well or down as well as you did before. But I'm so happy I had this done. If you needed to have this done, I hope that your experience is like mine. I hope you go in with a very positive attitude. I'm here if you have questions. Submit them on any one of my videos. I'm retired, so I look forward to helping people. So if you have questions, ask them. I'm here to help any way I can, and if you need it done, get it done. And I hope and pray that your experience is a lot like mine, and it just gets better every day. So thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me share my experience with you, and I hope I can help you in some small way. You have a great day and feel better.